target audience, and then you have ICP and the buyer's persona. So do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And I just wanted to ask, there was one lady actually who asked me that day, what is the difference between ICP and a target audience? Is that lady joined us? I actually tend to miss out her name. Okay. So let her join. Let me answer this question in a little while. So let's start with the third session, which is called as, I'm sure that you have an understanding what topic is today, right? So what is the topic that we're going to have today?
Negotiation skill plan.
Correct. So we are going to have today negotiation skills. So now, firstly, when I say the word call as negotiation, what is the picture that comes in your mind?
Asking for discount.
Asking for discount. Okay. What else? Everybody has to participate. Khushi, Sudha, Sneha, Alisha.
Ma'am, it can be about any discussion or any queries related sales. Any
Okay.
sales related, yeah.
It's basically regarding pricing.
Okay. It's regarding that. That's negotiation. Anything else that you can think of? What picture does come to your mind when I say the word call as negotiation?
It's like convincing.
It's like convincing for what?
For price or product.
For the price or the product. Okay. What else can you think of? Come on, let me know.
It's finding any way through the obstacle.
Okay, that's negotiation.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if that is a negotiation, help me understand what is bargaining then. There are two different words called as negotiation and one is called as a bargaining.
Yes,
so if there are
ma'am.
two words in the dictionary, I'm sure there would be two different meanings.
Yes, ma'am. Negotiate and meaning, bargaining meaning would be completely different.
Correct. So what do you think about bargaining now?
Negotiate the terms and conditions of a transaction.
Okay, negotiate the terms and conditions of the transaction. Okay, fair enough. You know, one thing I would like to tell you is that irrespective of whether you're attending my sales training program or any other sessions, try to be very simplified in your minds. That will actually help you to achieve a lot of things in your life. Don't you think so?
Yes.
So whenever you say something, try to understand, is it simplified? Because most of the things are simplified.
Bargaining is basically getting the price down. Matlab how much, to how much extent the price could be lowered.
Exactly. So now tell me one thing, Alisha, as you say that, where do you bargain? Where are the places do you bargain?
And markets, when we buy
Which market?
vegetables, when we buy clothes, clothes in local shops, not in malls, because we cannot bargain over there. So we do in local shops, and vegetable shops we do. And so basically to the local vendors we do the bargaining thing.
Okay, fair. So now let me help you understand. So welcome you to the day 3. The topic for the day would be negotiation skills. So this is the first thing that I have asked you. When you hear the word called as negotiation, what picture comes to your mind? So you people gave me different kind of answers, which were actually right. But I'll tell you what is the difference between a negotiation and a bargaining. When we talk about a bargaining, the objective of bargain is that I should win and the other person I don't care about. That's bargaining. So as you rightly said, Alisha, is that when you bargain at the market, you don't think that, okay, the vegetable is 60 rupees kilo. So I want to get that at 55 rupees kilo. So I'll bargain. No, bhaiya, give me at 55 only. I don't care whether he gets at 52 or 53 or 55. Correct? So bargaining is have an objective that I am winning. That's it. That's an only objective that I have. But when you talk about the word called as negotiation, negotiation always means that you are coming to a place where there is an agreement on both the parties. Okay, you also win, I also win. That is called as a negotiation. And that is the reason when you go to marketplace, when you go to local vendors, we don't talk, okay, I'm going to negotiate to him that he give me a certain price. We only bargain because the agenda over there for us is not to think about him as a shopkeeper, but only to think as how much money can I save. Got it? So that's the difference between a negotiation and a bargaining. So there are two different objectives. They are very two different things. So when you talk about B2B, when you talk about sales, when you talk about companies, we always negotiate. We don't go and bargain, right? We don't go and bargain our salary. We negotiate our salary. Correct? We don't go and bargain the rate of interest when it comes to the RD. We negotiate that what is the best price that you can give me? What is the interest rate that you can give me? You can negotiate. नहीं नहीं भैया आप मेरे को इतने में ही दो, मेरा पैकेज तो इतना ही है. It is not like that. So do you got the concept of bargaining and negotiation? So there are two different words. Bargaining, always think about one angle, that is me winning, and I don't care about the other person's loss. I don't care. And when you talk about the negotiation, negotiation is actually when both parties sit in front of each other and they come to a point where they decide, okay, this is a win situation for you also, and this is a win situation for me also. And you both people come together. So is that clear as a negotiation and bargain first and foremost? All right. Thank you. Lavanya, you got the concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Now, see, you have to understand when it comes to negotiation, we would be talking about negotiations. We are not going to talk about anything in bargaining for today, but I have given you a context. What does bargaining means? Now, when you talk about a negotiations, there are two people in two parts of it. Okay. The first part is the people who are involved in the negotiations. So how are the people who would be involved in the negotiation? If you recollect, there was one session yesterday that we had. There are different type of people who are there when you purchase a product. If you remember,
one is the buyer, one is the decision maker, and one is the influencer.
And one is there are three people.
Supporter.
Correct. Thank you so much, Alicia. So there are three people who are involved in any of the buying of the product. One is a decision maker who pays you the money. One is an influencer who actually influence the decision maker. And one is a supporter who can support to or fro of the product to buy or not. So negotiation always have two parts of it. One, the people who are involved. So all the people are involved into it. The decision maker, the influencer, and the supporters. Everybody is involved into it. Right? And the second one, you have to always remember when you talk about a negotiation, you have to understand the problem and solve that problem. That's only when you go closer to the closing of a sales deal. So you have to always solve the problem. Am I clear till here? Now comes the interesting part. Okay. So before we get into the first thing, let's talk about this first. Now, there are 6 guidelines, okay, which the Harvard has researched in a depth, and they have understood that this is something that you have to follow if you want to be a good negotiator. First, I'll give you some golden tips of negotiation. Remember that giving always gives you a higher advantage on negotiation. Now, I'll explain you this in a little while. But before this, let's understand, separate people from the problem. What do you understand by this line? What do you understand by this line? Separate the people from the problem.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi,
Hi, Swati. Yeah, I think the age group means the different age group people has separated their problem.
Okay. Not really not exactly, or very near to that also. Anybody else who would like to give a try? Yes, Manisha, please.
People financial issues.
Ma'am, it may be like we don't personally indulge in the things.
I didn't get
the
that.
people from the separate the people means separate the personal life differ from the professional life. It's something like that.
Not really, but still good to try. Yes, Alicia.
It could be, because there are so many people involved in that negotiation, so we can separate all the other people and we can take the people who is the beneficiary and the person who is the decision maker.
So my thing is everybody's revolving around the same concept, but try to understand what is they're trying to say when it comes to negotiation. So I'll give you an example over here. Probably that will help you to understand. Now somebody has come to your home. Maybe your friend has come to your home, which has come after 10 years. Okay, she's staying at your home. Okay, now what happens is she was very busy with her whole stuff of going in the market and all of these stuff. What happened was she was not taking care of your room that you have asked her to stay at. Now one fine day in the morning, it's a Sunday morning, you were on the breakfast, and you say to that person, say to your friend, you know what, Lavanya, I just have a one request. Can you just clean up the room? Can you just put up the things at your place? Just clean up that room so that it becomes a little ease out to look at. Now what happens over here, that you would have just told that person in a very simple and a simple stated way that, okay, if you clean the room, it will look nice, you will also have a good place to stay in, and of course the house will look better. But now on the contrary, the person actually got into a different mindset, and she's asking you a question back. Do you think I'm unhygienic? Do you think I'm dirty? Correct? Does that happens with you? Correct. Sometimes it does happen. Okay. Even if you say that to your kids, na, ki, you eat good food. Sometimes the kid reply, "Aapko lagta hai ki main hamesha kharab hi khata hu."
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Correct. But that is not your intention to say. Your intention is to say that even if you're eating a McDonald's outside, or even if you're eating a pizza from outside, what best you can do is like increase your little intake of your carrots or maybe cucumber or maybe certain vegetables. But they don't take it that way. They take it in a separate way. They say, "Aapko lagta hai main hamesha bahar hi khata hu." Correct. Now this is exactly the problem is. There comes a ego kick in. So first, the point of negotiation is that when I am saying as an individual to you that you have to clean your room or you have to eat a little healthier, you have to understand I am not talking from the context of a problem. Oh, you are eating outside, you're wasting so much of money or all of that stuff. I am just saying that if you eat at home more, you will be having a healthy lifestyle. So please separate people from the problem. So if I'm saying you something, don't consider that I am a person who is targeting you. So the problem is different and the people is different, but people club it together. That's exactly what it means, that you have to separate the problem. The problem is different, but people consider people and the problem, that if you're telling to me, I am doing it, I become a problem. Are you people getting that? So that's exactly where the whole, now here what happens, most of the cases when you are into B2B meetings or when you are into B2C kind of negotiation, when people say you, this is what it is going to help you out, or you should not be doing this, or you should not be doing that, you don't understand that they are saying from the context of the problem. But you consider stating that, oh, they are saying it to me. Now see what will happen. I will not buy only, or I will buy the whole stuff. So that's one important thing that you have to consider when you negotiate with somebody, that you have to separate. If somebody is saying they are not targeting to you, they are targeting to the problem, not the people. Are you people getting this context? Right? Now, let's talk about the second one, which is called as focus on interest or not positions. So please understand that you have to just talk about what benefit will you get if you buy that particular product. Don't position yourself, or don't try to be in the position that I'm more smarter than you, I belong to a better company than you, I am having more money than you, I am doing this, I am doing that. Nothing. If these kind of thoughts come into your picture when you're sitting on the negotiation table, trust me, it can be felt. So don't think about all of this stuff. Focus what is the problem of the party which is sitting opposite to you, and how your product is going to solve that particular problem. The more problem you solve, the more people are likely to buy that. So learn to focus on interest of the buying people rather than your positioning. Most of the salespeople, they do an amazing job. They go, they prospect right, they qualify right, they become good friend, they have a good rapport with the clients, they present well, they research well, they do everything well. Now, in this process, what happens is that they become so authoritative. At the end, they start positioning themselves, oh, this is what you should be doing, and this is how you should be doing it. They start to overpower the people. So focus on the interest. Is it okay? The third guidelines that the Harvard has come up in the last 3 years are learn to manage the emotions. If you do not know how to manage the emotion of your buyer, you have very high chances of you not closing the deal. Now, I'll give you an example over here. What is an emotion? Say, for example, you are sitting on a table of negotiation with somebody and he says, okay, I understood your product very nicely. Everything is good. But what is the thing that is actually bringing value to my table? Probably you're not answering that question at that moment of time. But what happens is this is now creating an anger in him. Okay, now this anger is something you're not able to gauge it, and you keep on telling about the process, the company, the this and that. Now the point is he is getting out of anger and is saying, you know what, boss, you're wasting my time. If you're wasting my time, how this particular product is going to solve my problem, you're not helping me out with. So let's just close this deal. Maybe somebody else I'll buy it from. Are you people understanding what am I trying to tell you? So learn to manage emotion. Emotion is a very, very important aspect. Now, I'll just say you one thing. I'm sure this would have been encountered with you, and probably suppose you have gone to actually, maybe you wanted to buy some electronic product. Okay. Now your husband has just told you that, you know what, you just go and research, and meanwhile, we will go on Saturdays. Okay. And we will buy the product. It could be a laptop. Let's take an example of a laptop. Now your husband has told you that you have time in the evening on Wednesday. Why don't you just go to the Chroma or Reliance, just scroll to it, what is there in the market, find out what is good and bad, so that I don't waste my time on Saturday. Now you go to Chroma person, you have an intention of just scrolling. Today you're not going to buy, but you have an emotion of scrolling the things. You have an emotion, you're excited. Now you're scrolling certain things, and you know what the Chroma person says, talk to you one time, talk about the features, talk everything about the laptop. After 5 minutes, he understands that without even guessing. Okay, at that 5 minutes, he's understanding that you are the person who are not going to buy today. Now he just vanish off from there, and he doesn't come back to you, and you're trying to reach to him because you have another question in your mind. Now the point is he's just catering to another client. Just imagine what is the emotions that you have over here. Don't you feel disrespected? Does that happen with you? Now, no matter what, huh? Has that happened with you? Because it has happened with me many a times.
Yeah, I last year we were buying a TV and I was just scrolling down in Chroma only. Just I was scrolling and I was TV to buy because there are 2-3 options, है ना. But as you rightly said, the moment he said, because the moment I said, okay, no, I'm just scrolling down and I'll be buying on the weekend or when my husband will accompany me. Because if you're buying to 70,000, 80,000, and so obviously he had to come with me. I cannot buy all alone. So he said, okay, ma'am, आप देख लीजिए, फिर अब जैसा होगा बता दीजिएगा हमें.
So now, Alisha, the same question to you. Did you go back to the same Chroma and bought the stuff?
No, we bought from Reliance.
See, exactly the example that happens. Now, negotiation was, she was a buyer. She wanted to buy. She's just doing a scrolling. She's on the first stage or the second stage of sales process. But the salespeople did not learn how to manage the emotion of the person who is walking. And subconsciously, you get hurt about it. That we want to buy, we have the rights to take care of the scrolling part of it. Maybe we'll come after, we are a normal middle class people. We need to scroll 2-3 places and we will decide on one day. That is where you have to learn learn the emotions, how to manage the emotions. And this is where most of the salespeople lack. They don't know only how to manage the emotions. They don't know if the client is angry, they will still continue talking about themselves only or their companies only. Or the client is not ready to take care of that. If the client is looking for, you're wasting my time, he's not even bothered because he thinks, oh, he's sitting over there, he got an appointment, now he'll sit and he'll talk about everything before he gets up from the table. So take care of the emotions. That's very, very, very important, because as I repeat all the time, that emotion sales is the only one thing that happens through emotions, and then it is justified by logic. If you go back and retrospect yourself, just imagine that you have never bought anything if there is no emotion involved or no ease out of involved. Okay. So that's very, very important. Learn to manage the emotions. This is one of the examples which you can think of. Anything that you can think of which you like to participate or tell me? Anybody who would like to talk about it? Any kind of emotions where people have not taken care of it, and then probably you were out of that situation and you said, okay, I don't want to buy from here.
Like if you go to certain shops, um, if they are if
Once
it's
again,
kind of
who is
like
speaking? Who is speaking?
ma'am, I'm Khushi.
Khushi, Manisha, just give 5 minutes to her to speak. Yes, Khushi.
Yes, ma'am. If we go to any shops to buy any product,
Hmm.
and after a few talking, and if they understand that we don't have money now actually, so they lose interest of showing their products.
Yes. Now,
That
how do you
is
feel about
that is
it?
a common example which people face here.
Yes. And how do you feel about it?
We feel that like we become embarrassed, and we feel like we clear it, right, that we don't have money actually, so that they should also not show us many things, but unfortunately they just stop convincing us or stop saying anything, so that we should leave because we don't have money now, and then that they should not waste their energy on us.
Yes. So it is very, very, very bad. It's the emotions are been hurt, and probably you will always give a bad review of such companies in the outside, or their people are not good. Right?
Yes.
Yes, Manisha, would you like to example something?
Ma'am, actually, we went for buying an AC in Vijay Sales, I think. When I went, so nobody like consider me. Actually, she wanted to. There are two things. Like when female goes for buying such things like for AC or for big things, so
Hmm.
they did not consider me कि like she actually wanted to buy something और कुछ ध्यान देना चाहिए इनकी बातों पर भी तो दे like कि okay आप देख लीजिए उन्होंने मुझे उस तरह से छोड़ दिया. Then my husband came तो then at that time manager came कि okay when do you want to buy? Yeah, within this month we wanted to buy. Okay, वो चला गया और some junior he appointed to take care of us कि अभी इनको नहीं लेना बट ये अभी 4-5 दिन में या हफ्ते भर में या महीने भर में ये लेंगे तो आप प्लीज टेक केयर ऑफ देम
Yes.
मतलब दे डोंट कंसिडर फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वुमेन कि वुमेन इसके लिए डिसीजन ले सकते हैं. Next thing, when my husband came and then he said ki, we wanted to buy, but in next 15 days or for within this month. So even
Hmm.
then he like appointed a junior to us कि हाँ आप दिखाओ इनको सब कुछ जो ये चाह रहे हैं. It is like that.
So at one point, deep down, you feel hurt about it. Okay. Right now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Absolutely, ma'am. When they neglected me ना कि I feel नहीं कि यार क्या बात है मतलब कि कोई लेडी आके कुछ इंक्वायर नहीं कर सकती क्या है वजह सेल्स है या कुछ भी है. And no,
Yes.
I'm looking like a housewife or मतलब purely कि मतलब ठीक है I'm not looking damn good कि yes I'm a authoritative person or something. ठीक है मैंने एक नॉर्मल सा सूट पहना हुआ था. उन लोगों को इस तरह से जज नहीं करना चाहिए था कि एक लेडी है और आई है और एसी अगर हम लोग देख रहे हैं पर्टिकुलरली बहुत सामान है आपके यहाँ पर बट हम लोग पर्टिकुलरली एसी को ही देख रहे हैं और आप हम फिर भी हमको अटेंड नहीं करना चाह रहे हैं जस्ट बिकॉज आई एम अ वुमन. मेरे हस्बैंड भी आए तो आपने अटेंशन नहीं दिया कि हाँ आप ये एक प्रोस्पेक्टिव कस्टमर हैं जो विद इन मंथ लेंगे ही लेंगे. तो ये नहीं था कि हमने
Correct.
नेक्स्ट मंथ लेना है या 6 महीने में लेने वाले हैं.
Hmm.
इसी महीने में लेना है बट ठीक है 3-4 चीजें देखेंगे 4-5 जगह घूमेंगे एक बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट है 40-50 हज़ार का लेना है तो उस टाइम पे थोड़ा सा लगा कि यार ये लोग तो अटेंशन ही नहीं दे रहे हैं, मतलब प्रॉपरली गाइडेंस ही नहीं दे रहे हैं कि हाँ ये वाला लगवाना चाहिए या इतना बड़ा रूम साइज है तो ये ले लेना चाहिए या क्या कैसे।
Yes. And
What
this
I want
happens.
to have a
Yes,
point.
Kushi.
I want to clear a point here. Like,
Hmm.
even if they want to ignore us, they can, but that should happen after 7 to 8 visitings that we are not taking any product. Uh, till
Hmm.
then, at least we should have patience. At least 2 3 times we go. But if on the first attempt only, if they ignore us like that, so that is the most saddest part.
Okay.
We
Well, Kushi, let me just contradict you over here because you should not be, if you're a salesperson, you should not ignore after 7 to 8 times also. I'll tell you a reason why. Because most of the sales deal happens after ten times of follow up. Do you know that?
I don't know, ma'am, but
So let me also tell you the average range of follow up that people are expecting out of you is more than 5 times. And actually, the conversion happens after 10 times. So if at the eighth follow up or if the eighth time you're not buying the product, probably you will buy after 10 because of your own self respect. I have visited that place at 8 times and I'm not buying now. So I should also not go. So ninth time, yeah, you have high chances that you will buy the product. And eighth time, if the salesperson doesn't talk to you properly, that is the time if you will actually the salesperson loses out the deal.
ma'am, till then we need to have a positive outlook towards the client.
Frankly, I'll tell you, in sales, what I have understood is that you should never lose on client because sometimes clients come after 2 years also. So you should never do that even after 8 time, 9 time, 100 times also. If till the time you are in that company, you should not make, you should make sure that your client has been served with utmost respect. Now, I'll tell you one thing which recently happened with me. So actually, me and my husband went for a dinner. Okay. Now, what is an Indian protocol says once the bill come, the bill has to be passed on to the males, correct? The males only do the billing part of it. Am I right?
Yes.
Correct. Now, what happened was, fortunately, that was my deal because I'm also earning. So I said, my husband, it's a dinner from my end. So we both went. Now, the moment the waiter came, he actually handed over the bill to my husband, and I said, "Why are you not giving it to me?" So he said, "Of course, he will pay." Now he said me that on that audacity, he said to me, "I'm sure, sir, madam, sir will pay it." I'm like, "No, the bill is on me, and I'm going to pay it." So he got little, astonished to it, and he just passed it on. He actually very calmly then he took the bill from sir and he gave it to me. But at that point of time, I understood and I felt bad. Why it is always like that? That the bill has to be paid by a male gender only who's on the table. Now I felt very bad about it. Now I'll tell you what happened thereafter. Probably the last emotion of paying the bill was a negative emotion. So till date, I do not speak good about that restaurant.
Yes.
Till date, I always scrib out. There was one dish which was very pathetic, and there were three dish which was averagely good. But I talk about all the negative, that one dish which is negative, because the last experience of my emotion was hurt.
Yes, because that gets stuck to your mind, and
Yes,
that's good. Yeah.
exactly. So please take care of your emotions when you talk about the negotiation because that's the most important thing. Learn to express the appreciation. People do not, how many of you, if I genuinely ask you from deep down, how many of you can give compliments on daily basis? I'm asking you this question. If I ask you genuinely from the heart, can you give compliments?
Um, yes, ma'am. I give compliments to friends if they are really good in any habit or any kind of their knowledge.
Correct.
So
That
I
is one
give them,
person. Kushi, you
yes.
give it. I'm asking to Lavanya, Sudha, Sneha, Alisha, Manisha. Can you give really, if I ask you this, if I ask you really this question, that do you give compliments to other people daily basis? When is the last compliment given you gave?
Ma'am, recently.
Yeah.
From my, from my
Yes, ma'am. I
Yes,
used to
ma'am.
do that.
I
Sorry,
used to
ma'am.
do.
Yes, ma'am. In daily basis.
Yes, ma'am. And
I used to thank my
Great.
milkman, my paper wala, my husband.
No, no, that's not thanking. I'm not talking about the question called as thanking. Thanking is
Complimenting. This is
different
not
and appreciation is
complimenting.
different. So what
Sorry,
kind of
ma'am.
compliment do you give to Dudwala?
सही अच्छे समय सही समय पे लाके दिए तो हाँ भाई आज आपने अच्छा किया मेरे लिए तो उसके लिए बोलूंगी नहीं भाई आप अच्छे से बन सवर के आओ थैंक यू आपको सही समय पे मेरे को लाके दिया आपने, पेपर
Correct.
वाला। तो उसको भी थैंक्स करती हूँ। सुबह मॉर्निंग मूड अच्छा ही रहता है मैम, तो सबसे हंस के
Um,
बात होती है।
Also, ma'am,
correct.
yesterday I gave a
जी।
compliment to my friend because she works in a mobile shop here in UK,
Hmm.
and all of her friends went because of the peer pressure which was given by their seniors. So
Hmm.
she remained, and now she is the manager of that backend which she operates. So I
Okay.
appreciated her that your friends also went leaving the job, and now you are there at any cost, and now you are the manager, so the results are clear, so you are dedicated to the job. And she was a bit like blushing kind of, that I appreciated her in that case.
Great. So basically, the reason of having the negotiation is that you should also express the appreciation. If the person who is sitting opposite to your table, and if that person is a good listener to you, if he is able to find out what exactly you're telling, please compliment him that, okay, you are a very good listener, and that brings a very good thing between each other, and it becomes more, easy for me to make you understand. So whatever, he could be a good communicator, he could be a good negotiator, he could be a good listener, he could be a good strategic thinker, he could be good of anything. So please appreciate, because appreciation always connect you with emotions, and the moment people get emotionally connected with you, the reasoning of getting negotiation goes down. Now, the next step is put a positive spin on every message. You have to think what is the positive in that message and then talk about it. Please don't get into a reaction and this action cycles that, oh, now you said me this, now I will say you this. Now you say me this, I'll tell you 4 things. That's where the whole negotiations boil down to zero. And most of the people gets into this heated argument after certain kind of negotiations. Oh, I told you that you should give me 6 slots, but you have given me only 5 slots. But even if oh, no, sir, I committed you for 6 slot only, na, I committed you for 5 slot, probably there is a problem which you did not listen. Now these kind of statement actually hurt people. Okay, so this is 6 things that people have come up with, and they are saying that this is very, very important part of negotiations. Do you have any questions?
Ma'am,
So
but
where,
in this, how
huh?
to deal in this case, how to deal with it, or how to give answers to them in a healthy way?
Okay. So if I would have been at that place, and if the person would have said that, oh, you told me, suppose, for example, that person, I am understanding that he's lying to me. I gave him 5 slots and he's saying, no, no, you gave me 6 slots. So then probably I'll come to him and say, sir, probably I think I made a mistake either of me saying it to it, or maybe there could be some miscommunication over here. Now, what best I can do is like, this is the best I can do at 5, but let me get back to my office. Let me understand if I can accommodate one more to you, I will give it to you. If in case I could not accommodate that one more slot to you, probably I'll call up you and say that is not possible. Now, here you're making it very clear as a conversation that you will still try. So you have to convert this conversation, which has become negative, into a positive spin.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you get that? So complete the whole conversation with the emotions. First, you have to understand and say that there could be possibly a miscommunication or misunderstanding in the communication. Please use this kind of business language, so that if the person is bluffing around with you, because most of the time, the person who is buyer always does it.
And here I will conclude that even if it is not my mistake, even if that the person has heard me improperly,
Hmm.
even if during that situation I will commit that this is only my mistake, that I have convinced you in that maybe I have convinced you it was 5 slots, but actually
No,
it was, so maybe it's my miscommunication from my side,
no,
even if it's
no.
not.
No, when did I said that you have to say that in the communication, in the negotiation, you have to underplay? When did I say that, Khushi? I just said that probably, sir, I think there is a misunderstanding in the communication, either from my end or your end.
Okay, okay.
Because you are a salesperson, does that give you the right that you have to be below that person?
No, ma'am.
No. So you have to always have at the same level. I'm not saying that you have to go above their level. Neither I'm saying you to go below their level. Come at the same level, na? You are doing your part of job. You have chosen sales as a career. Does that mean that you have to go below them?
No, no.
No,
Yes.
you should
No.
not go. You should never go, because the moment you go below them, you will never sell. This is another fundamental truth of sales.
Okay.
Is that clear to everyone? If whenever you work with Herky or maybe any other project also, if you choose career as a sales, please make sure that you don't deteriorate yourself as a salesperson. Sales is one of the most important function when it comes to the company. I'll tell you how. No matter the company make the best of the product in the world, if people cannot sell it of their company, the product is no use. Do you agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
If we underplay, the impression would be to them, our impression, like they will have a bad impression for us.
Yes, and they will always underplay you. They will always I'm so sorry. They will always overplay you.
Yes.
So make sure that I'm not saying to deteriorate yourself in the negotiation or any of the sales process. You have to be at their level. That's the reason why there has to be two important things. First is that you need to be a good sales communicator, and the second one is you need to be very, very sharp listener. Now, coming back to the slide which says, where do you all negotiate? We negotiate at workplace every day in and day out. Negotiation as in terms of, suppose you are working in your office, or maybe you are working in your office, you want to complete your task, and your friend, a good friend of your office which is in the company, says, let's go for a walk. Let's grab a sandwich. Now you're again negotiating with that person so that it becomes at par, that it doesn't harm you also and it doesn't harm your relationship also. You negotiate at home. You tell your students, you tell your children that, you eat healthy, I'll give you this. You negotiate asking for the raise. Okay, this is what my last CTC was, and this is what I'm expecting, and this is what I bring on the table. So you have to give me a raise. So suppose I'm a 10 lakh package, you have to give me 15 lakhs. This is how I'm going to value your company, bring value on the table on the company. Making a case on project budget. Why people give you money? Why should they give you money for that particular project? A policy change, solving a dispute, buying and selling assets or equipments as in home or any of the appliances, finalizing sales with the client, you name it and you negotiate. Is there any place where you don't negotiate? आप सवेरे से उठ के रात तक वो दूध वाले के साथ भी नेगोशिएट ही करते हो
Yes,
कि भैया
ma'am.
कल मेरे को 6-6:30 बजे चाहिए, तू ला देगा क्या मेरे को? उसका अगर टाइम 7 o'clock का है, you negotiate to bring it at 6:30 is a negotiation.
Yes, मैम, इसीलिए तो कॉम्प्लीमेंट भी करते हैं इसको.
Exactly. So that 6 Harvard rules which they have said is true. You have to apply any of these so that the negotiation becomes easy. Are you people getting it? So
Yes.
first and foremost, you negotiate everywhere. Now, what happens is, let me tell you, in business, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate for. As simple as that. You only get, I'm so sorry, what happened? You only get what you negotiate for. And this is very true. I can give you an example for this. Just 1 second. I just missed out on that. So suppose you go to any of the project and you say to that company, okay, I should be getting X amount of money. So they are like, no, I do not have the budget. If you bring down the value, what I bring it, then they will negotiate with you and you will come to a point what you negotiated for. If suppose that you say, okay, this is the money. Okay, suppose you go to any of the companies and say, I'll give you 100 rupees, but you want 150 rupees. And if you just accept 100 rupees, you'll get 100 rupees only. But if you negotiate for 150, probably you have a chances that you will get 150 rupees. So in business, you don't get what you deserve. You get only what you negotiate for. In the personal life also, just imagine if you say, I want a particular sari, which is costing 10,000 rupees, and you just negotiate for that only and don't settle down with the 7,000 sari, you will get the 10,000 one. Otherwise, your husband will convince you, nee, take that 7,000, that is also very good. Are you people getting it?
It's true, ma'am.
It's very true. So now we have understood the concept of what is negotiation, what are the guidelines of negotiation, but there are different. Now let's talk from the business perspective, okay? Firstly, do you have any questions over here? Okay, this batch doesn't have much questions. I don't know whether everybody understands what am I saying, or I don't know
I'm
what to say.
understand.
Okay, so different approaches of negotiation. I'm so sorry. Just give me 1 second, please. So there are 4 styles of negotiation. One is a win-lose. The another one is win-win. One is lose-lose, and one is called as a lose-win. Do people got this quadrant?
The probabilities, right?
No, it is not probability. It is a strategies and different. There are different examples. I'll go through one by one, so you will understand. They are not probabilities.
Okay.
They are quadrants. Okay. Now, one is win-lose, win-win, lose-lose, lose-win. Now, let's talk one by one. The first negotiation strategies. The first one
Ma'am,
is called as I win, you
sure.
lose.
Ma'am,
Okay. Yeah.
please show the previous slide.
Yes, please. This one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank Thanks, ma'am.
Done?
Yes.
All right. Great. Now let's talk about the first strategy, which is called as a I win and you lose situation. Okay. Now, I'll give you a real example over here is that what happens is, just no, not a real example, it's an hypothetical example. There is a car dealer, okay, a person who actually do a refurbished car dealer, which means a person who is selling the old cars, okay. Now there is one car, which is, say for example, it's a Maruti car. It has just drove around 2000 kilometers. It is in a very good condition. It's in black color. It's a new model. It's a diesel petrol. It's a diesel variant. It is in a very good condition. Now you want to buy, for example, that car. You went to that dealer, the car dealer. You have you had a full checkup on that car. Now you sat on the table for negotiation. He's saying you that car would be, will cost you on road around 7 lakh rupees. Okay. Now you sat over there. You said, yes, the car condition is good. Everything is good. The tires are good. Everything is perfect. The car, there is no scratch on the car. I'm okay to buy at 7 lakh rupees. Okay. After that 7 lakh rupees, he says, okay, can I create a document? You go back, he goes up and he goes to take a document over there. In that while you think about something, he comes back and he says, you know what? Everything is good. Now what happens is, I'll pay you the money right now, but you are giving me only 1 year of insurance. Why don't you give 3 years of insurance? Only then only I will buy this car. You have to give me 3 years of insurance. Okay. Now he says, okay, let me go back to my manager, ask that question and come back to you. He again go back to the manager. He had a conversation with the manager. The manager says, okay, if he gives the payment right there, let's take a point on us and we will give the 3 years of insurance. He again come back to you. Again, he says, okay, I spoke to that person, my manager, he's okay. We will give you 3 years of insurance. Now the person who is sitting over there says, you know what? I am sure you will do that with me. It is not a big deal. Now, what I'm looking forward to is, I'll just give you the check right now, but you change all the tires of my car, because I don't want this wear and tear. I want a new car, new tires. Are you understanding? And people are there who negotiate like this. Don't they negotiate like this? So these are the kind of people who come into I win, you lose. I win everything. And I am not even getting into understanding whether you are earning. If I'm buying this car, are you even earning 10 rupees or not? I am not bothered for that. These are the people who are very competitive negotiator. And they only talk about their needs and wants, and they give very little to others. Now, this approach is also called as a fixed pie approach. This is a very technical term. You can just remember that term. Now, the point is where this kind of negotiation happens. It happens in politics, it happens in lawyer, it happens in the B2B, B2C marketplace. Now, when I say B2C marketplace, is suppose you go and buy a refrigerator and you say, okay, I want to buy this refrigerator. I'll give you the full cash today, now only to the Chroma person, but you give me 10,000 discount. You give me this discount. You give me free delivery. You give me free installation. You give me everything free. I'll give you the cash now. But there is a cost to company. Are you people understanding it? So these are the people who are very competitive strategists. They are people who think just about themselves. Now, when you deal with these kind of people, when you understand, okay, the person is sitting with a mindset, I am not bothered about your win. I'm just bothered about my win. So there is a place where you have to say him, sir, this is the things that are possible and these are the things which are not possible. You have to be very clear communicator over here. Now you cannot play around over here these words and be very kind of you can't be a loose words talk here. You can't do a loose talk words. I'm sorry, loose talks here. You have to be very firm. Are you people understanding it? So this is one strategy. You have to be very cautious and you have to understand they are the negotiator who's not going to bother about you. So here, how do you tackle to these people? Firstly, you have to be very good sales communicator. Secondly, when you identify, okay, these are the people who come into I win, you lose kind of negotiator, you need to be very good listener. Then the third thing, you have to make sure this is what I can offer you. This is what I cannot offer you. I cannot go beyond this. Otherwise, they will keep on squeezing on you to give me more. And ultimately what happens is you get irritated, you start showing that in your body language, and the person who is sitting in front of you also get irritated, gets up from that place and just move out from there, and there is no deal. And most importantly, you lose on the relationship also. Okay, so this is first kind of negotiation. The second negotiation strategy, which is called as a lose-lose negotiation, which is the avoidance. Now, say for example, there is a deal between you and other party. Okay, now there is a disagreement. You people are not agreeing to it. Now you people don't talk to each other. You avoid talking. You negotiate. You don't negotiate. There is no mediator in between. There is no answer to any kind of communication. So both the parties are actually losing. Basically, you will see very less kind of such negotiation in the market. Now, normally I have seen these kind of negotiation. What happens is, suppose there is a building, okay, which is coming up and there is a conflict in that building and it goes to a court case. So either of the party don't get into the court case, the buildings get spoiled. Have you seen such kind of buildings which is there? So it is a negotiation which neither of the parties involved to. So it's a strategic approach where one or both the side decide to step back or wait before discussing an issue. They don't want to talk about it. None of the party gets into an agreement. They don't want to disagree also. They don't want to talk also. They don't want to get into any kind of engagement also. But still the negotiation is going on. The problem is there only. So the best way for this type of negotiation is try to get out of that negotiation. Now I'll tell you one approach over here is, it is the lowest of all the negotiation chart. You will see very less kind of this negotiation. It means that it has a low concern or profit on both the parties involved. Okay. Just understand one thing. When you are into these kind of negotiation, if it comes on the image of you, your company, your credibility, your reputation, please by all ways and means get out of that negotiation, because this is not going to give you any kind of benefit. And understand one more thing, as a salesperson or as a buyer also, that anything that comes on the impact on you, your business, your reputation, your credibility, you should not get into that kind of negotiation, because the money that you earn through that deal is far lesser than the stake on your reputation. Did you get this sentence?
Yes.
Did you get this sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the second one. You will find this kind of negotiation very less in the market. Let's talk about the third negotiation strategy, which is like I win, you lose. This is where most of the salespeople are dealing in nowadays. Okay. What happens over here is that I will give you everything that you want. I'll give you the change of tire. I'll give you 3 years of insurance. I'll give you free delivery. I'll give you 1 year maintenance. I'll give you everything. But you give me the deal. Now, in this kind of negotiation, what happens is probably you will have lot of sales. You will have 100 sales like this because your customer is very happy. Customer says, okay, you're giving me everything. I'll buy everything. But you have to understand, you are not working for customer. You're working for the company, and company work not only on the sales, but on the profit. Correct? So if you give so many things to customer, that it is a bear to the company cost, right? So the profit of the companies goes down.
Yes, we're getting it.
Are you people understanding it? So
Yes, ma'am.
you have to always think from two parameters. One, that you get give the benefit to the customer, but at the same time understand that you are working for the company. So the profit of the company should also be at a good stable income. You cannot say, I'll give you everything. There are 10 demands of the customer and give you all the 10 demands, and the profit of the company is going down. So it's not, it's like I lose, the negotiator, the company lose, and the customer wins. It doesn't happen like that. And trust me, most of the people are living in this particular negotiation. Given all, I'll give you whatever you want. The person to do this is because they want to get liked or accepted by other people. They want to avoid all kind of conflicts and the confrontations. And this person, this kind of personality that the salesperson have is actually avoid rejection. They actually avoid rejection. They can't take rejections. They can't handle rejections. And 70% of the people stays in this negotiation. And that is the reason why companies are not able to sustain in the market, no matter how much volumes they have. If you talk about all the e-commerce company, do you think after 15 years or 20 years, they should not be into the profitability?
They should be in the profitability.
Exactly, but not most of the people are. If you read paper, you will understand. I'm so sorry for that. If you read newspaper, you will understand this is the year 2025, where Oyo Rooms has said that this is the first year where we are getting into the profitability of the company. We have earned profit. And the operation of Oyo started way back in 2012. So do you really think that it requires 12, 13 years to get into the profitability? See, I'm not questioning it, but I'm trying to tell you that most of the companies lies into this only.
Ma'am, but I'm thinking about why. Why is the reason? Because this is like something, it is on demand, but I don't know why it took this much time.
See, that's an nitty-gritty of the company, and I would not get into this because I do not have the balance sheet. Of course, I do not understand the business of the Oyo much. But what my question is, as the third party is, does it take 12 to 13 years to get into profitability? Whether other companies has already got into profitability. Thyrocare got into profitability within 5 to 6 years. So there are different companies who get into profitability within 10 years of the 1 decade is more than sufficient. If Oyo has got the profitability after 13 or 14 years, I do not know the nitty-gritty of it. But my question as a third party is, why? Because maybe they would in the negotiation strategy of I lose and you win. Maybe. I'm not saying that they have done this, but I'm telling you this could be one of the reasons. And why most of the sales people do it, I'll tell you that because they have a very high pressure of sales number.
Okay.
right? If you have 100 numbers to cover up and you have only 1 month, you will say, just get me the numbers, give whatever the customer wants, just get the customer in. Doesn't that happen?
Swati, most of the company do this, that just bring the customer and we will watch it, or we will deal with it. No, I think most of the company are go for that particular strategy only.
No, Anjali, let me tell you that if suppose you talk to any of the owner of the owner of the company will never say that. The owner of the company will always say, what is the profitability of the company? Because he doesn't come from one point of view, right? He have to see all the aspects and parameters of the company. So if you talk to anybody who is a decision maker, stakeholder, a person who is a strategic person in the company, he would never say these kind of lines. I have never seen in my entire life a person who is a strategic maker or the person who owns a company will talk about like this. It's only few people who are based on the target. But I'm telling you, even if you have ample of target, but if you increase, even if you achieve half of the target of the company, and if you know how to do the math of it, and if you only have 10 people, but your target was 20 people, but if your profit is higher than the 20 people who bring in, you still have added much more value to the company compared to the number of people that you have brought in. Is that making sense and relevancy to all of you?
Yes.
So sales has two parameters. One is a number game, and the second one is the bottom line. That is the profitability of the company when they exclude everything. Okay. So that's the second part. And this is something you have to be cautious that you have to get out of this negotiation strategy, because most of the people would be in these kind of strategy. And the last one when we talk about is the fourth one, which is called as a win-win situation. You also win, I also win. So it's a most constructive and the interest-based negotiation. It's a relationship as a vital component and an overall objective of achieving a win-win agreement. You have to have a win situation. See, this is what I can offer you, because this is something that we can take care of with the amount that you are paying to me. But if you are against of it, there is something that you need to pay a minimum bare chances. What best I can do is, like, I would not add profit to it, but you have to give me the cost to the company for it. So you come to a win-win situation. Now, there are 10 things a customer is asking for. 5 things you can take care of because your profitability is not getting decreased. But the 6th thing, that is something which is a cost to the company, you can now here the customer is saying that, please give me that. See, if you don't give me that, then there is a problem with the negotiation. There is a problem that probably the deal will not happen. Now, you don't have to lose the deal also. So how do you get into the win situation over here? You also win, he also win. Now, you have earned the profits in the first deal only, the first 5 only. Now, the second thing, you also have to think that the customer, the buyer should not lose it. So he says, probably I would not charge you the profit that I will earn out of it. But what I can ask you is, like, please at least give the cost to the company. And people do that, right? Sometimes you just pay the cost. So you come to a win-win situation. Even you don't go, you say, oh, I have not given much of the amount, I got discounted on that. You have actually a win situation over here. And this only happens when you have amazing relationship with that person. Is that right? Do you agree on this?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
This
Yes.
is
And
right.
this is how you have to strategically think. I'm so sorry, I'm just facing a lot of cough and cold. And this is how you have to strategically think. So now, how you have to think is the question. So when you talk about your product, when you talk about a service, when you go to a client, you have to understand, okay, the client is going to ask me about the discount. The client is going to ask me about the add-ons. The client is going to ask me this. The client is going to ask me that. You have to make a list of all of these things. You have to understand, if I give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 free of cost to the client, it is going to be a win situation for the client, and it is not also going to hamper the profitability of my company. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 I can give. Now, on the sixth part, something a client asks to you, you have to understand you have to understand this. Firstly, you cannot give. So you have to make a position yourself that when you speak to them, you have to speak in such an assertive way that, sir, I have given you these five things. This is something that has added value to you already, which is worth of this much of rupees, which actually is not included in the deal that we are having. However, as we have such amazing relationship and I am looking for a long-term association with you, let me bring you some another viewpoint of it on the table. So you don't pay me. This is a basic amount to it. Let's talk. This is something that you need to pay, and we will give you the best out of it. In that also, as a giver, as a person, as a company, give one thing little extra to them, which can be a little, added advantage to them, but still think that your company cannot give something free of cost after 5 add-ons. So that's a win-win situation.
Yes.
Are you people getting it?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
You got the context of it. Now let's take an example of a very bare minimum, which is a bhaji mandi, which you go to buy a sabzi and vegetables, right?
Yes.
Now, I don't know whether this has happened with you or not, but let me tell you, this has happened with me many a times. So what happens is that when I go to buy a vegetable, if suppose I have a potato to buy something, I said, "Bhaiya, char paanch aur dal do na." Okay, that's normally I say it because I'm a typical, at the end of the day, I'm a woman. Okay, I tend to do that. There's nothing wrong or right in that. I'm just saying you. So what happens over here is that now see the strategic move of even the vegetable vendor. He says, "Madam, wo 1 kilo to ho jayega." He will not talk to you. He will just put that 1 kilo to you. You are just observing him. He says, "Bhaiya, dhania mirchi free de diya."
Yes, it
Now
has happened with me.
एग्जैक्टली दैट्स अ विन विन सिचुएशन. आपको चाहिए था आलू, वो उसके इसमें था नहीं, उसने आपको मिर्ची दे दी जो उसकी कैपेबिलिटी में थी, उसके नुकसान में नहीं था. सो आपके लिए भी विन हुआ, उसके लिए भी विन हुआ. डू यू गेट दैट?
Yes, you are right. It's happened most of the time.
Like he will
Yes.
say you directly that the potatoes are, that it was costly, and then he will just give you the side ka thing that is dhania or mirchi or some other thing.
Exactly. So this is win-win situation. ये हो गया B2C में, which is a very layman's. One is a IT professional के point of view सोचो. एक सोचो आप in the context of, when you go and buy certain kinds of consumables, like for example, anything as in terms of you go and buy a furniture. So in the furniture, if they says you, okay, this furniture will cost you 90,000 or 1 lakh rupees, or you have to give an add-on of, new cushioning or whatever XYZ. Now you have bought stuff and the sofa furniture has become 1,40,000 rupees. Now you feel hurt about it, but you have added your own self. So to make you at a win situation, he will say, okay, I'll put an anti-termite to you, which will cost you 5,000 rupees. A win-win situation. So these are different kinds of win-win situation. It is not just B2B. It is there in B2C also. It is there into C2C also. It is into D2C also. It is there everywhere possibly. Are you people getting it?
Yeah.
Any
Yes,
questions still here? So there are 4 strategies over here. Most of the people lies into I lose, you win. But try, if you want to be a good salesperson and a profitable employee to your company, you have to always get into I win, you win.
Ma'am, in this situation, we will mostly discuss with them about the qualities of the product and about the discounts and all the added perks which we have provided, so that it can be a win-win situation like for both of us.
So Khushi, you don't talk about any quality of the product, because that has been already done in the process of the sales, which when you were into presentation. Here you just talk what is an added benefit that you have given to the client.
Okay, ma'am.
So after presentation, if you remember all the people, that after presentation comes the negotiation.
Yes.
So you don't talk about any value addition here. You just add about what is added that I'm giving to you. It
Okay,
is
ma'am.
Negotiation majorly comes into money matters,
Okay.
right? So for negotiation, firstly, you have to understand that you have to prepare certain things. First, identify your fear. The biggest fear of negotiation is no, because if you have invested more than 3 months or 3 hours, also you feel if the person says no, I have wasted my 3 full day. It is absolutely okay to say get no, because sales is a process of no. So identify your fear, and the biggest fear which I have come across in lot many times is that the no. You can't take no as no as an answer. So it's okay, the no is there. Second, know your own hot buttons. Now, what does that mean is that if the person says no, 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 you do this or do that or I'll walk away. Now that might cause you an irritation that I have invested. A person sometimes just get up from the place, okay, you do this or I'm getting, the people irritate you to that core that you're sitting and negotiating and the person gets up from the chair. Now, as a salesperson or as a person also, you feel hurt. So if that triggers you, start to take care of their emotions. So you have to understand what are the triggers that makes you angry or sad or disheartened. Because if you don't understand that kind of triggers, probably you will not take care of your emotions. And if you don't take care of your emotions, you cannot be a good negotiator. Okay, now I'll give you an example which has a real life experience to my own self. So, I used to negotiate for from 2 lakhs to 20 lakhs. So at a certain point of time, people used to say me, hey, what nonsense, yeah, they used to change the tone of the voice. You give me this or just close the deal. Now, this change of the tone when I'm talking to them with a respectful manner was a hot button to me. If the person changed the tone with me now, I used to get triggered. Okay, don't want to take, don't take. Now, if I lose that emotion, if I get that emotion now, the chances are that I become weak here. Now, when I understood that this is my hot button, I started feeling that people have this tendency on talking to like this. So I stop in between the conversation and say, sir, I understand that you're angry or you're not upset, you're not very much liking it, but I still request you that we have spent a good amount of time talking to each other. I just request you, and I was very subtle saying that please, if it is okay, can you talk subtly to me? I used to say that upfront, but in a very positive and a very assertive way.
Okay.
But of course, when I have a good relationship with them. All right. So know your hot buttons, that where do you lose your temper if you want to be a good negotiator. I'll give you a real example over here. There was a deal between two big companies. Okay. I don't know the name of the companies, or I forgot the name of the companies. What happened was this one person, there was both the CEOs who were involved, and this one CEO, which has a higher power of money, he called the other CEO at 12 o'clock at night and said, let's have the negotiation at my place. You come with 2 people of your company. So I'll give you 45 minutes to reach to my place. It was in Delhi. Okay, Gurgaon. So this person, the person who was about to sell the company, went to the person's of buyer's place with 2 people and 5 bodyguards at 12:45, because it was a deal of big crores company, multi-millionaire companies. And this person who was buyer, this buyer did not turn up. Did not turn up at 12:45 at night. For 12:45 a.m. in the morning, he called up through his secretary, let's have a negotiation deal. Probably we'll announce it tomorrow morning, but he did not turn up. So the hot button was a lack of patience. If that person did not have the patience, this deal would have not happened. And then eventually the deal was happened. So he knew that my best part is my patience. So even if he doesn't turn up he probably had that thing, okay, I can lose the patience, but he kept a control on that patient. It's okay. He is a buyer. He's a big party. Maybe he actually went into sympathetic mode and an empathetic mode. He called up the next day with whole dignity and he said, is there any problem? Why did not you turn up? So he just said to him, I was just testing your patience and now we are good to go with the deal.
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing, ma'am. Amazing example.
People are like that. And when you talk big companies, they actually do like that. You know, I'll tell you the real thing. You are a negotiator when it comes to negotiation. I'll tell you real thing. Okay, you know this GlaxoSmithKline company? This is a company who makes the tablets. Okay, so it's one of the good companies in the market. So I was first job for me where I was interviewed was a GlaxoSmithKline, which is called as GSK. So there was a panel where we were sitting, five of us were sitting, and there was a camera where I was not aware of. There was a very small camera somewhere, and we were all sitting over there. Our interview time was 12:30, and 12:30, you know, 1 o'clock, we are very hungry. We biologically feel hungry about it. Now what happened was this person did not call up for the interview inside, and it was 2:30, and I was just sitting there, and I was just very impatient. And you know what, I was just talking to my colleague like this, here, there, XYZ, and I was having this kind of expressions on my face. Okay, क्या है यार, ये क्या मतलब बिठा के रखा है, 2 बजे बोला था तो 2 बजे ही आ रहा था, this kind of expression. And to my surprise, I was not knowing that that person sitting inside the cabin is watching through that camera, and I was rejected. And rest all the 3 people were accepted. The only 2 people were rejected, me and one of my colleague friend. And the reason when it came to us in the writing in the mail was, you did not have the patience to sit down for 2.5 hours. You have applied for a sales job. How will you sit down if the person has told you to sit for half an hour outside? That was a written description on the mail. So that's the reason that we did not even interview you for. So that is one thing. Next one is gather as much as information as you can about the other party, because it is very, very important on the negotiation. I'll again give you one example over here, is that I was actually negotiating with one of the company, with one of the person, and he was actually having a 10 crore company, and it was a good company. Of course, I was actually dealing with him only for 2 lakh rupees for the event industry. And I was very much, I'm a very good researcher. So I research a lot before I get into a client negotiation. So he was just not arguing with me. He was just arguing with me. He was just not agreeing on what I'm saying. He's saying, no, give me this, go, give me that, give me this, give me that. I understood that he's a person, he's not even bothered for my money. He's just bothered for his money. I only came up with one thing. At that point of time, I was researching his Facebook, and I said, you know what, sir, I have been seeing your Facebook and you have been going to Dubai from last 3 years. Don't you feel you should be going to Europe? And for Europe, you need certain amount of money, and that money can be earned if you actually signed up this contract, get the sales here and get into the dealing so that you get the money. And he said, you researched about me on the Facebook. Maine kaha, yeah, because the 3 years of your vacations are only in Dubai. If a person is going every year for vacations Dubai, can't you go to Europe? Why are you not going to Europe?
Because Europe may sometimes make him angry that you
yes.
have.
Yes, it does make you anger, but you have to also understand at that point of time that how well are you connected with this person, and secondly, how well you can present it. See, I was not sarcastic, but at the same time, I was just asking him very casually, sir, aap har baar Dubai jate ho, Europe nahi jana kya aapko? The tone has a very important role here, and the relationship that I have with that person.
Okay.
कोई मेरे को आके पूछेगा कि तुमको यूरोप नहीं जाना, मैं बोलती तू कौन होगा मुझसे बात करने वाला?
Yes.
So you have to also understand how great is your relationship. How much have you built a trust by a person where you can talk this language? In spite of no matter how much depth you have to understand it has to go in a right sense of humor. If the right sense of humor doesn't go right, it can backfire you.
Okay.
Got that? So preparation of negotiation. Manage your fear of humiliation, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of endless obligations, fear of being wrong, fear of being punishment. ये सारे fears आपके अंदर जो भी है, figure it out. ये सब सेल्स नेगोशिएशन है. आप 2 साल डाल के भी कई बार मिजरेबली फेल हो सकते हो. So just get out of that fear. Are you people getting it? और सबसे बड़ा fear that you people have is the fear of everybody, including me, fear of rejection and the fear of failure. Oh, I have invested 1 year with this person. Now, what if he rejects me? Okay. You have also rejected na people after 1 year. Right or wrong? People must have pursued you for 1 year and you have said, nay, now we are not interested.
Yes, this happens. This happens with friendship. This happens. This happens.
Yes. So fear of, these are the fears. The second is you have to understand, do you know things about yourself that are true, but that you would prefer to avoid? Okay. This is a personal preparation. You know about yourself that this is true, but you prefer to avoid. Get to understand that, because that is very important for you as a person, as a negotiator. Now, if I'm a person, if I know something about me that after a certain point of time I get fumbled up or I get very angry on something, that I should know about it so that I can control during my negotiation. So find out what is that you do not know about you, and that is a trigger to you.
Like watching our thoughts when this happens, even maybe in some situations, maybe our emotions may burst out. So at that time I feel like I should watch my emotions when I'm getting angry, so that I can understand that this is the way, this is the point where I'm getting angry, and maybe I should correct it. This is
Yes,
not it. Yes.
yes, for that you have to observe yourself every now and then, that what are the things that makes you happy, what are the things that makes you angry, what makes you sad, more what makes you cocoon, what makes you not talk to each other. So find out everything. You should know about yourself. Then only you can be a good communicator, a negotiator. I'm very clear on that. When people makes comment about things that you're ashamed of or that you try to deny, we say they are the pushing your buttons. Find out what are your loopholes. That are very important. Otherwise, I'm telling you, you cannot be a good negotiator ever in the life. Now, remember the points to negotiate. Have an objective, what you are asking for. Don't just negotiate for the sake of negotiating. Second, know what the opposing party or the buyer party wants. What are their needs? आपको उसको क्या चाहिए वो पता लगाओ. Don't just beat around the bush. Don't. Information is a power. The more you have the information about your product, your features, your services, the company, the clientele side, what are they doing, who are the decision maker, what are their needs, what are their wants, you are into a better negotiation power. Next, don't assume anything. Don't. Now, I'll tell you one thing that has happened over here, or that happens most of the time, is that now, say, for example, Khushi is talking to me. Khushi is a seller. I am the buyer. Khushi is saying me, okay, I'll give you this things in 10 lakh rupees. Now, I am sitting over here and thinking, okay, now if I'm buying this and I want to actually fit into these many people over there, and all of this I'm thinking at this point of time, and I'm not talking to Khushi. Now, instantly, Khushi is a salesperson and a negotiator say, okay, Swati, let's just cancel it. I'll give you in 9 lakh rupees. Let's close the deal. But the point is, you have assumed things. I'm not thinking on the money part because I already am okay with 10 lakh rupees. I am thinking where to fit in. So don't assume things. If person has been silent, let that person be silent and let that person come back to you.
Let the person think, it seems.
Yes. Don't make it personal. Know when to walk away is very important when it comes to negotiation. Show strong objection to bad faith negotiation. If you do say that my company is not going to add profit to it by giving so much add-ons to it, show that's no, it is not possible. It's okay. Walk out. But never have a bad deal for yourself. Know the lever that can you control. Understand what are the things that you can control from your negotiation point of view. Get the terms of the writing of the agreements in writing, because there is no value of verbal.
Sure.
Be 100% transparent, clear, and honest about whatever you have said and done. So these are some of the tips that you have to remember as a good negotiator. Understand the prospect need. It is very important. See, what happens is we always try to give what we can give, but understand what is his requirement. Always. You know, there is a real fact that certain, I'll give you a real thing. When you talk about companies like HUL or Procter and Gamble, they make certain product for certain areas, and that products are not available in certain parts. Say, for example, if I talk about a shampoo, which you call about it Dove, okay, there is a one Dove shampoo, which is only there in the Maharashtra and Gujarat, and it is not there in the southern region. So when I want to buy that particular product, either I have to get it through Amazon or I have to get it through Maharashtra. So understand what people really want, and then only please give your solution. Most of the salespeople start talking about, मैं ये कर सकता हूँ, मेरी company ये कर सकती है, we can do this for you, this will help you this way, this is how. But he is not looking for all the things that you have told to him. He's just looking for one solution which you have not spoken about. Are you people getting it?
Yes, ma'am. This is just putting your emotions and putting your strategies, or explaining just about your policies, but not concerning about his situation or his problem, which
His
he is
pain
talking
points.
about. Yeah,
Yes, his
his
pain point.
perspective. Yes.
How can you do that? There are only two ways. The art of very, very effective listening. And the second one is the asking right sales questions. Really asking the right sales question. Now I'll ask you questions. Suppose okay, so can anybody be on the screen? I will ask the questions. Anjali, Gayatri, Alisha. Okay, Khushi, if I ask this question, do you want to earn money? You are kindly unmute yourself.
Yes.
And
Okay,
I would obviously like to earn the money
okay, why do you want to earn money?
for my betterment, for enhancing my career, and specifically the reason would be just to fulfill my needs.
I want to
Okay.
be financially independent, means asking every, because I have been working for 10 years and from the last 3 years I'm not working. So it feels sometimes so bad to ask every time ki I have to go for a shopping, or I just want this, I want that. So if I am financially dependent, then I am the decision maker, and I can do what I want for my children or for myself or for the family as a whole.
Okay. Now, suppose you have the money without even asking. So still you want to earn money, go out and earn money?
Yeah,
If
because
suppose,
that gives you a confidence, because when you're earning, and that gives you a inner confidence that you are participating in your family, family income, or say with a, I'm not able to
okay.
express, but it gives you an inner boost also, because being a dependent and being independent, it feels so different when you are the whole, you are the decision maker, because you will be actively participating in all the decisions.
Correct. So basically what you want money or you want decision-making power?
Our decision making power and money as well.
But if given a choice, which one will you choose one?
Decision making power, ma'am.
Decision making power.
See, now these questions are the real right question. This was actually a demo which I was trying to give it to you. So your objective of earning money is to not get that product from the market. Your objective of the earning money is to get that decision-making power and the equal right. So sometimes what you think that why I need money is exactly why you don't need money for. You need money for something else. And this is exactly how you understand the pain point. Your pain point, Alicia, is not to earn money because you want to purchase a product. That is something that you have created an image of. But you want money because once you sit on the table with your family member, they should find you equally caliber. That's your pain point. Are you people understanding? This was a real role play. By us,
Any own self-respect. It can be our self-dignity or
it could
self-respect
be
that I
anything.
only also earn. Yes, yes.
Kushi, it could be anything. What I'm trying to say you over here is that, you know what happens when I say, if you ask me this question, why do I want to earn